If he was drawing until then, that dispels all doubts. Aside from the doubts of his humanity, eh? There's a big clue waiting for me in this cross-examination. This testimony does nothing less than mock the court. But I'm sure that there is a vital kernel of truth hidden in it somewhere. The thing is though, we have her hood here. Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being highly irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you $1, it's the whole truth. If that's truly the case, there's one thing we can say for certain. What might be? That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ow! A foolhardy fool of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. Now, how exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry, according to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite a way from the bridge. The hood is what told me this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris. And Iris is my darling hood. I'd see there's a bigger fools in this world than the ones at the defense bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight. What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why? Why did Nick have Iris' hood? What? Edgy! What's going on with Nick and Iris? Why you, Nick? You dog! It hurts. I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded. Straight into the garbage. What is it now, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy! Today's the day I get to completely stupefy you. What? What does it mean if you're outburst, witness? I hate to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive? Evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Lars Duxnam, shall prove it. He's going to do something stupid. Yes, he is. I didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant depicted in this sketch. Show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually reality. And mash the X button, Tenho. Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm going to feed you a whooping serving of pain. You've been serving us a whooping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me. Yes, you're right, Pix. And so is Edgeworth. When I reached Dushgate Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched for her all over. And that led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. What's this here? I'm sure that was Iris simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. A crystal sphere? This one! Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere. Where did you find it? Oh, let me see. Around here someplace. That looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow. It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. but there was still some falling as I walked on the bridge. The code accepts this crystal sphere. That's mine, okay? I will be back afterwards. There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood. What? Blood? You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's going to push me around anymore. Didn't you want to be called Larry's duck's name only a few minutes ago? Well, I'm gonna press all the things. So, you went to the burning bridge. The thing that we just need to present this staff, I think, because on any of those statements, but I'm just going to go for all the pressing and then do it, because I want to find that thing. Actually, I think maybe that thing is unrelated, but I will. So the burning bridge. That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get to me. The least I could do was meet her halfway. But the defendant was not at the bridge when he got there, you say? I guess she went back to Hazakura Temple. She's a girl after all. She was the one to look her best. Must have been lovely to live in that fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, it's so depressing I can't even work up the energy to prove the point. So, what did you do next? Yeah, we must find the funny. So, you searched all over for her. She was flying pretty high, you know. I thought that maybe she slipped on her landing and got hurt. Hey, it was more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. I was pretty sure I threw the peels away somewhere around there, you know. Can that one guy really be this stupid? So, did you find any signs of a so-called landing? I don't really remember. I kept falling over myself and I kinda lost it for a while there. You fell over yourself? Yeah, the snow was deep and there was even a banana peel out there. Yup. They're stupid. And then there's Larry Butts. The short of it is that you didn't find any signs of her landing, correct? Then, what happened next? That led me to finding... blah blah. Half buried. It was sitting in the snow with a little gathered on top of it. What is it, Pix? It was really hard to spot actually. I mean, it was pretty dark out too. I'm impressed. You did very well to find it. Oh, don't worry, Pix. We'll see that when we get to the investigations games. No matter what you may think when you look at me, I'm a pro, a genius security guard. I used a pen light I borrowed from my company to write my search. And it sparkled really brightly, as if it was saying, "Here I am" to me. It does indeed look very much like the crystal on Iris' hood. But need I remind you that she was not wearing her hood that night? Oops. Each nun is assigned to their own hood, and they are only assigned to one. I don't know anything about that, okay? And Iris is special, alright, dude? Even if she did steal a spare hood, I'll forgive her. This is getting us nowhere. A destination for the date, it seems. However, this crystal sphere was found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from the hood, where could it have come from? That is the question I aim to answer. Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reason you thought that this was Iris are the hood and this crystal sphere, correct? That's right, my gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini in the next morning. And her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound. Indeed. She was wearing it in this very room earlier today. This case isn't going to end without a fight. Exposing the obvious contradictions in his testimony will be easy, but I fear that all that awaits us is further mystery. Okay, so now we have all the things we pressed. So, no one else could have lost a sphere, but we can. We have the victim's stuff. Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere. There was? Who? Who was this stupid idiot? Miss Alice Duxnam, the mentor to a stupid idiot. The victim? I have a photo of her here. And on the end of the staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere. Hey, that's my photograph. Give it back. Ouch! A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like me on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's stuff, found at the scene of the crime. Oh, the crystal sphere. It's gone. What? 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 Just what does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across a bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris. After all, she was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Alice Duxnam. A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is thus rejected. You can't do that, I saw it with my own eyes. And this crystal sphere, it is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Alice Duxnam was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. Miss Francisca from Karma, the only two people who accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. I love this little just stab at Turnabout Big Top. And hello. Yeah, she would have, but she's like more. She wants the defeat to be legitimate, you know. She wants to beat him and crush him in a legitimate way, which is like, yeah, her own personal honor. Why are you pointing at me? The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. There's also that, yeah, kind of a sibling rivalry. They're not related by blood, but she basically grew up next with Edgeworth. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case? That crystal sphere, it was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder. After the murder? There's blood in the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it in there to throw the investigation off scent. With the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch. What? You mean I'm the killer? No! All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point. There's no evidence that Elise Duxnam left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. You're responsible, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time. Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? I think the sentence I've been looking for here is the yes, I can. I think Larry interjects on this one, so let's just go, because we're gonna pull a Phoenix here. Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it, that's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Felix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that the crystal sphere was a vital link to solving this case. You'll do what? That look in your eyes. You remind me of Felix Wright when he is cornered. Yep, here it is. That should come as no surprise. Because right now, I am Felix Wright, and I am indeed cornered. Oh, I just love this. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. And it'll be the crystal ball itself, because I think it is a crystal. What is it like? We have the. I just need to review all the evidence again, I think. No, I don't think this is it, so it has to be the thing itself. This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct? That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing. Even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there's no snow on the victim's body. Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. What? What? Order! 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 On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge, and there something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose. What could that have been? The sphere. There's some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. And just who is a fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Have you been paying attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth. The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. That's not exactly true now, is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing! No, it isn't. You said it yourself. If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was not bleeding. Are you forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth? At least Duxnew's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest that someone carried the body all that way? Oh gods. I've made it this far. The only place to take us is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of the events is perfectly plausible. Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method. That's the tracks photo. On that snowy night, there is one way that the body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon. But it could also have been used to carry a body. Order! Order! Yeah, this is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put a final nail into your coffin? You're too late, Franziska von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim, Elise Duxnew, really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you even need to think about that? Ow. My throat is just torture right now. Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Edgy, thank you. Well, that settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There was one reason, and one reason alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this all is about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. And then I wouldn't have Frenzy whipping me all over. Miles Edgeworth. I don't care what you had to do. This is my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seemed to have slipped you by. What a shame. Frenzy! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. cannot believe that the witness testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those that are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigation by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright. Court is now adjourned. What perfect timing. I don't want to trade back to Nick. I would just like to put this here and have everyone just like Why am I back here reading this case? It's the first case my mentor Mia Fey ever handled in the court of law. The horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What have I read? I don't want to believe. What is written here? This isn't the Dahlia I knew. After falling into Eagle River, I was somehow miraculously saved. But I ended up catching a cold that seemed to knock me around the world and back. I feel dizzy, my ears are ringing, my throat burns, and my head is on fire. But I will recover. I have to recover by this afternoon. I have to meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. But I know he'll be able to help. I know he'll be able to help me with him somehow. And here we can save. I scared you there, didn't I, Pix? Although, no, we are back to playing as Phoenix. So that concludes today's stream. Let's go back to the lobby. Restart the camera as usual. You want the snarky British Miles back. So I expect us to be able to wrap up this game within the next 2 to 3 streams. We have 2 to 3 streams left of Ace Attorney. At least this trilogy here. It has been a pleasure playing this part with Miles Edgeworth. It is just great fun. This entire section here, it is so good. Just playing with Edgeworth, it is amazing. I just adore it, you know. OBS, please don't have an aneurysm. That would be great. Thanks. So next stream, of course, Wednesday. We're doing the second part of the investigation. I think that investigation will go throughout the entire thing, the entire stream, and then on that will be next Monday. I think we will. Let's see, Wednesday. So that's the investigation. So the stream, like, we will probably be done with this game on the 4th. Unless I do a bonus stream during the weekend, and I don't think I really want to do that. And I actually, considering that we are not swimming, I might just do a bonus stream on Thursday, maybe. I don't know yet. Maybe. I want to take tomorrow off from streaming, I know. But maybe do a bonus